So good day everyone. My topic is Lesson 3, which talk about strategies to mitigate nature-induced crisis. So brief facts, the Philippines is one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world, located along the Pacific Ring of Fire. The Philippines is highly susceptible to seismic and volcanic risk. The country is also subject to the world record of typhoons every year. Climate change and pandemics are exacerbating those risks. So hindi na nakakapagtaka no na kaya ang Pilipinas ay isa sa mga dinadaanan ng bagyo at mga lindol dahil ang Pilipinas ay matatagpuan sa Pacific Ring of Fire na kung saan ito ay tahanan ng mga disaster. So here's the list of devastating disaster in the Philippines. We have Taal volcano eruption in 1754, Mayon volcano eruption in February 1, 1814, Typhoon Angela on September 22, 1867, Typhoon Haipong October 8, 1881, Typhoon Hernan October 17, 1897, Cholera pandemic March 20, 1902 to March 8, 1904, Mount Hibok-Hibok eruption December 4, 1951, Moro Gulf earthquake August 17, 1967, Typhoon Uring on November 4, 1991, and Typhoon Yolanda November 31 to 2013, and lastly is the COVID-19 pandemic. So ito yung mga kumitil ng libu-libong buhay dito sa Pilipinas kung saan ay maraming lugar ang naapektuhan at may mga lugar din na natabunan ng mga ashfall o kaya ay lumubog dahil sa malalakas na bagyo at mga pagbaha. The DRRM policies and strategies. These are comprehensive rules from National Government Office cascaded down to the local government unit or the LGU. It is composed of different line agencies where each of these line agencies are given their specific responsibilities to avert or mitigate crises and disasters. So ang DRRM daw, sila ay naglalayo na protektahan ang bansa para sa mga matitinding kalamidad na dumadaan sa Pilipinas. So ano nga ba ang DRRM? Disaster Risk Reduction and Management. It is the application of disaster risk reduction policies and strategies to prevent new disaster risk, reduce existing disaster risk, and manage residual risk, contributing to the strengthening of resilience and the reduction of disaster losses. So, ang DRRM daw ay sila ang gumagawa ng mga policies at strategies para maiwasan ang mga disaster na maaring makasira ng mga ari-arian dito sa mga tao o lalo na sa mga pangkabuhayan. So, the DRRM has 4 priority areas that covers. We have number 1, prevention and mitigation. Number 2, preparedness. Number 3, response. Number 4, rehabilitation and recovery. So, ang Pilipinas daw ay may DRRM na organisasyon. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or the NDRRMC, formerly known as the National Disaster Coordinating Council or the NDCC. It was established in 2010 after former President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo signed the Republic Act 10121. This group of government facilitate the prevention of multiple risks that any disaster can bring, mitigation and preparedness of local government units to reduce the further casualties and damages in an event of disaster. So dahil nga ang Pilipinas ay matatagpuan sa Pacific Ring of Fire, so hindi na rin ikapagtataka na lagi tayong dinadaanan ng malalakas na bagyo at mga paglindol. Kaya nabuo itong NDCC or the National Disaster Coordinating na itinayo noong 2010 ni President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. So dito daw sa NDRRMC, so we have the Secretary of the Department of National Defense, TND, as chairperson, and katuwang niya yung mga vice chairpersons, which is the secretaries of the DILG, DSWD, DOST, and the NEDA. So, mayroon silang mga kanya-kanyang mga layunin. So, ang DOSD ay naglalayon na maiwasan ang mga hazard and mitigate their potential impacts by reducing vulnerabilities and exposure and enhancing capacities of communities. So, sa DILG naman ay naglalayon sila na mag-establish at mapatatag ang kapasidad ng mga communities to anticipate, cope, and recover from the negative impacts of emergency occurrences and disaster. So, ang DSWD naman ay naglalayon na magbigay ng life preservation and meet the basic subsistence needs of affected population based on acceptable standards during or immediately after a disaster. At lastly naman, ang NEDA or the National Economic and Development Authority ay naglalayon na ma-restore at i-improve ang mga facilities and living conditions and capacities of the affected communities and reduce risk in accordance with the Building Back Better principle. So, itong mga agencies na to ay sila yung mga tumutulong o mga pangunahing ahensya ng gobyerno na tumutulong na kung sakaling maapektuhan tayo ng malalakas na lindol at mga kalamidad gaya ng bagyo, paglindol, pagguho ng lupa o kahit ano pa. So, sila yung nangunguna sa pagtulong sa community para hindi lumala yung sitwasyon at para maiwasan na rin ang crisis na maaring lumaganap sa bansa. So, what is Republic Act 10121 na itinayo ni Gloria Macapagal Arroyo or yung ating former president? So, it is an act strengthening the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management System, providing for the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Framework, and institutionalizing the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Plan, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. So, RA 10121 or the Philippine DRRM Act of 2010 provides a comprehensive all-hazard multi-sectoral interagency and community-based approach to disaster risk management through the formulation of the National Disaster Risk Management Framework. RA number 10121 is an act mandated to strengthen disaster management in the Philippines, and it repealed PD number 1566 and replaced the NDCC with the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, NDRRMC, as the focal body. So, ang RA number 10121 ay nirepealed niya yung PD number 1566 na at pinalitan na ang NDCC ng NDRRMC. So, that's all my part. Thank you for watching and listening.